Uh, and right this way. And Isabella, is that what you prefer to go by?
No, Bella.
Bella. Okay, perfect. And have a seat wherever you like.
Okay, thank you.
And Bella, what are your preferred pronouns?
She, her.
Okay, awesome, great. And just before we get started today, I'd like to just go over something with confidentiality. So just so you know, everything that you share with me is just between you and I. I do appreciate everything that you would like to share with me, and I just want you to know that it will be confidential and will be between you and I. However, there are 3 limits to confidentiality. So the first is if you are at risk of harming yourself or others, it is my duty to report that, as well as if there's a child that is at risk of abuse or in a dangerous situation, I'd have to report that as well. And if my files were subpoenaed to the court, I would have to turn them over as well, okay?
Okay.
And do you have any questions about that, Bella?
Not right now.
Okay, if you get any questions come to mind, feel free to ask, okay?
Thanks.
Alrighty, so I heard from our referral team that you were that you contacted them, and they mentioned to me here at CMHA that it was concerning sleep. Now, before we dive into that, I just want to tell you a little bit about me. So my name is Kelty. I've been a social worker at CMHA here for about 2 years now. And yeah, what my job is here is just to talk to you and have you come to me with anything that you'd like to talk about. There's no pressure at all. It's at your pace and whatever you're most comfortable with. But I'm here to help in any way I can and to just listen to you and to see in which ways we can help you, okay?
Okay.
And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to stop me and to just ask, okay? Feel comfortable and whatever you need to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. And do you have any questions so far?
No.
Okay, so Bella, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, and would you be comfortable with me taking notes during our interview today?
Yeah, no, of course.
Okay, sounds good. So you mentioned that you're 21.
Yeah.
And like I said, so the referral team let me know that you were having issues with sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any more you can kind of tell me about those problems that you're having with sleep?
I don't really know. Like that just started happening about like a month ago. I've never had any troubles sleeping quite as bad before, and it's just like I lay there for hours just staring at the clock, and I don't really know what to do about it. I need sleep.
Yeah, definitely. No, I hear you for sure. Yeah, you definitely need sleep. And when you said that you haven't had problems like this before to this extent, have you had any previous problems with sleep? Like even if they weren't as significant as they feel right now?
Yeah. I kind of find that anytime like my life isn't going the best, I struggle with sleep.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's kind of it's like this vicious cycle of if I'm not doing well, then I lose sleep, and then I lose sleep, so then I'm not doing well.
Okay. And Bella, when you say not doing well, what does that look like for you?
So I just moved out of my parents' house for the first time,
Okay.
and I moved to a new city here in Toronto.
Okay.
And it's just a lot of change, and I don't do well with change.
Okay.
So I'm just like I'm lonely and I'm overwhelmed, and I just lay in bed and think about it until finally I fall asleep.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely hear you when you say that you feel overwhelmed. Change is definitely overwhelming, and I think it's okay to feel that way and to understand that is a part of change. So you mentioned you were living previously with your parents.
Mm-hmm.
What does that relationship between you and them look like?
It's good. My parents are still married. They've, always been in my life. And they're just a little like emotionally distant. So like I don't hear from them really much anymore since I've moved. And yeah, they don't really know what's going on in my life anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how does that make you feel, being a little bit more distant from those family members?
Uh, it hurts. Like I think I kind of expected it. My parents are they're good people. We have a great relationship and I love them and they love me.
Mhm.
I mean they're supporting my whole education to be in Toronto. Uh, but yeah, I just think even though I kind of expected them to, it still hurts.
Yeah. No, definitely. And that's another big point of change there, right? Is being with them every day and living with them to having that distant relationship. So that's another hard change to identify and to think about, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I never really thought about that.
Yeah. And you mentioned being here in Toronto for education. What do you do for school? Where do you go?
So I go to Ryerson right
Okay.
now. I'm studying finances and accounting.
Okay.
Yeah,
And how are you liking that?
I like it. I think I'll like it a lot more when it's a career.
Yeah, definitely.
But I've always been really interested in math and the money side of the world. So I think I'm hoping with time and getting a little more used to the campus and the people in my classes that I'll enjoy liking it.
Yeah. No, definitely. And when you talk about people in your classes, do you have a lot of friends at school, or are there people that you've met? I know that you just mentioned moving here quite recently, but I was just wondering, what's your support system like here so far?
Um, I know one guy in my class. He's nice, and we'll study together and we laugh and stuff. But I don't have anyone here that I would talk to about this kind of stuff.
Okay. And earlier you were talking about feeling lonely.
Hmm.
Um, so, hmm, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's just like we had such a big friend group at home, and like all these people who like I've always been like very like communicative of my emotions,
Mhm.
and then to be in like a new city and just like have it all to myself and like not have anyone to have those conversations with. It's just like it's another change.
Yeah, it does sound like a big change and definitely a change with your social network, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Circling back to school a little bit with your program, it sounds that math is a strength for you and something that you enjoy doing.
Yeah, no, I've liked it since like I was in elementary school, and I like it to this day. It's a moment when I'm working on it, I feel the most myself.
Wow, that's really good to hear. I'm glad that through your education, you're able to feel like yourself.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. It's been a nice feeling. Yeah.
That's really powerful. Yeah, no, I love that. And I was just wondering, do you work while you're in school?
I work part time.
Okay.
Yeah, just for like expenses of things. I work at Freshie.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I like their food. I don't love working there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's an okay job. I think my coworkers are really nice, and I only work once a week, so it's not too bad. It's just around the corner from my place, so it's nice. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good job.
Oh, good. That sounds like it's nice and close and that it's a good spot for you to work. It's not too much out of your way, so hopefully that helps with some stresses as well. And Bella, I'm interested to know, what do you like to do in your spare time?
Um, I don't know, like as of right now, not much. I think like at home, I really liked working out. I was really into like weightlifting,
Okay.
but I haven't figured out a gym here yet, so that's something I should probably get around to.
Yeah.
And then like I like reading. I still read here a lot. And then I'm a social being. I'm an extrovert, so I spend a lot of time with my friends.
Okay.
I did, but yeah.
Okay. And when you mention your friends, I'm curious to know, are you still in contact with your friends from back home?
Yeah, I mean, we FaceTime once in a while. Like my one friend Maddie, she's a good friend. She FaceTimes me quite a lot. My other friends, not really. Like I hear from them once in a blue moon. Well, most on Snapchats, like pictures of our faces, and it's pointless and fulfilling.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I had a good group at home.
Okay, well, I'm really glad that you still have Maddie. It seems like she's a good support for you, a good friend to have. All right, I'm trying to think here. So when you mentioned that you're struggling with sleep, is that an every night basis, or can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's pretty much every night. Not every night for the last month, but I think it's progressively gotten worse over the last month. Like I think at first it was like once in a blue moon. Like the first week it'd be like 2 times in the week, and then the second week it was like a little more. And now it's like this last week, like I've gotten maybe 6 hours of sleep in the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can understand why that would be difficult. So it sounds like from what you're telling me that it's been getting worse.
Yeah.
You've been getting less and less sleep. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Man, I'm sorry that you're having troubles with sleep. And have you been using any different strategies to cope right now?
Like kinda. I try to read when I can't sleep, so that at least I'm not in my head.
Okay.
And I find that sometimes I'll get tired, and then finally I'm like about to fall asleep, and then I don't. But sometimes it does work. I mean, the first 3 weeks it was helping me, but this week it's not been very good. And then lately I just get up. I'm like, if I don't want to sit there in my like lonely and sadness, so I just get up and start doing my work for school the next day. And it's typically around like 4 a.m. I give up, and I'm up for the rest of the day.
Oh goodness. Okay. All right. So wow, it sounds like you're really living your everyday on the lack of sleep right now.
Yeah.
So when you previously struggled with sleep, I remember you mentioned that it wasn't to this extent. I'm curious to know if you had any previous coping mechanisms that did help back when you were struggling previously with that.
It's a good question. Yeah, I guess I would use my cat. Like I have a cat at home, and I just like I cuddled him, and it was very like calming, and he purred. I don't know. I've always been like an animal lover.
Okay.
So he was great. I found he really helped me. And then I used to smoke weed a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would help me sleep. But I'm trying not to smoke weed as much anymore because I find like the next day I kind of wake up with brain fog.
Okay.
So I'm not using that here, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe that's what I should do because like I just can't keep doing this. Like I can't keep sleeping this little because I'm not me right now.
Okay.
So yeah.
And when you say me, who is Bella?
Who is Bella? Bella is, I am, my parents would like to say like the golden child.
Okay.
I always worked hard in school. I've always excelled in school. I've done a crazy amount of volunteer work. If I'm not doing volunteer work or doing school, I worked almost nearly full time throughout all of high school. So yeah, golden child for my parents. For my friends, I'm the advice giver. I'm the person they go to for talk about emotions. And for me, I think I would just consider myself like I care a lot about people. I care a lot about my relationships and like the effect I have on the world. And like my future. So yeah, I guess that's how I would describe myself.
Okay, that's great, Bella. And I mean, thank you for sharing. I love to learn this about you. You mentioned a couple things like you work really hard in school, and I think that's something to really appreciate. Like that you're a hard worker. I think that that's definitely a strength, and that's amazing. And you mentioned that your friends really like to come to you,
Mhm.
and I think that shows that you're a really trustworthy person. So that's another amazing quality
Thank
to
you.
see in yourself, right? And being caring is something you shared as well. And these are all different qualities that are really important to identify in yourself and to acknowledge. So yeah, I think that those are amazing things, and I'm really glad you shared them with me. So thank you for that, Bella.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And I mean, it shows that you're working hard to do better just coming in and speaking with me today. So that's really great.
Yeah, just don't want to carry on this way anymore. I'm kind of losing those parts of me.
Yeah.
So
And yeah, I'm sorry that you're feeling that way, and hopefully we can find something to help with that. And when we consider that, Bella, what would be the desired outcome of our meeting today?
I don't know. Like I know there's no like magical wand that can put me to sleep tonight, but that would be amazing. I would like to sleep. I think I'm hoping that I talk to my friends talk to me about their problems, and they're like, oh my gosh, I feel like a weight's been lifted off my chest. Like I feel like and I'm that person for everyone else, it seems. So I'm hoping that by talking to someone, like I can have that weight lifted off, and hopefully then like I can sleep a little bit. I can just it's not like a weight's on my chest as I try to sleep and I can't breathe.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. When you say you feel like you can't breathe, that weight on your chest, that sounds like it would be really difficult.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad.
Definitely, I can totally see why that would be sad. And Bella, I was wondering if you've talked to your doctor yet.
No, I haven't talked to my doctor. I just I'm not like pro med. Like I don't want to take any medication.
Okay.
In high school, so I'm diagnosed with major depressive disorder. So in high school, I took medication for that, and it just went downhill from there. So and then I saw a therapist for a little bit, and I found talking kind of helped me lift that weight. So I just kind of took the same road again.
Okay. All right. And I'm really glad that you can identify that did help in the past and that talking did help. So that's definitely something maybe we can look into more going forward, and just being able to have some consistent meetings. Would that be something that you're interested in?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And Bella, you mentioned major depressive disorder, that you had that previously. Is that still something that you're struggling with? You did mention that you were previously diagnosed. I didn't know if that was something that was still affecting you today. Could you just tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't seem to have until now. I think most of high school, it was really, really bad.
Okay.
I still have like a lot of suicidal ideation, but now it's back. It's not as bad. Like I don't have any suicidal thoughts, which is nice. What a standard. And but I'm just sad. I think I'm drained. I'm sad. I dread having to get out of my bed. Even though when I'm in it, I don't rest.
Okay. So you mentioned feeling drained and sad.
Mm-hmm.
Are these previous things that you felt? Are they previous feelings and things that were associated with feeling depressed previously?
Yep. Yeah. I would say those are things that were drained. Drained is, I mean, sad is almost a synonym for depression, but drained is like I feel empty.
Okay. Empty. And when you say empty, Bella, what does that look like to you?
I guess I just like I'm losing me. I'm just losing me. Yeah, I think that would be it. I don't have those things I describe myself as. They're just slowly finding themselves leaving.
Okay. again, Bella, I really appreciate you sharing this with me.
Yeah.
I do. And
Thanks for listening.
yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm really happy to be here. Okay. I was curious to know when you were feeling drained and sad previously. Did you have any methods that worked for coping?
I think that's when I really started reaching out for exercise. I found it was good release. What else? And my cat. Like I think I kind of have these typical coping mechanisms, and I guess now that I'm saying it, I haven't put any of them in place here. I don't exercise. My cat's not here with me.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe
Okay.
that's something I could think about.
Yeah, and I remember, excuse me, previously you mentioned having a good support system at home and having one friend at school now, but that it's not the same as all the friends you had back home. How does that make you feel shifting to, like having to leave your friends and just having your one friend here? How are you feeling with your social network in the situation right now?
Lonely. At home I had like I've never been a friend group kind of girl. Like I've always been like I dabble in friend groups, I guess. But I had like at least 2 handfuls of friends at home that were very close to me. And not all of them were like, emotionally close. Some of them were just fun friends, but having just one fun friend is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I miss being close with my friends at home and like just having array of people who all bring different aspects of like myself back to me, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. So it's sounding like having a good support system really allows you to feel like yourself again.
Yeah, I would definitely say so.
Okay. So when you're at school and you're with the friend that you have there, do you feel inclined to reach out to make more friends and to hold a good support system and social network here?
I'm just struggling because like I'm in finance and accounting, so I would say 90% of my class is men.
Okay.
And most of them don't care to get to know me.
Okay.
So Tyler is my friend at school, and he's he made an effort, and it was really nice. I think he could tell I was nervous. But I think I don't know. It's like me and Tyler are like we're both almost like ex-nayed from the group. Like they'll still talk to him and stuff, make bro jokes. But for me, like it's as if I don't exist sometimes.
It's difficult.
Yeah, no, it's a piss off, honestly.
Yeah, feeling like you don't exist. Yeah, that would definitely be a piss off for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm glad that you have Tyler and that you have him as a support here, especially in your classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you mentioned that your cat at home is something that really is a comfort to you.
Mm-hmm.
And can you tell me a little bit more about your cat?
Yeah. His name's Monsieur Guy. It's Mr. Stewie, but I don't know how. Somewhere along the way it changed to Monsieur Guy. He's this little orange fluff ball. He's a shoulder cat, so if I bend over, he'll like jump up on my shoulders and lay there and just purr and like. Oh yeah, he's like my best friend in an animal. Every time I'm home, he comes right to the door. He eats endlessly. He's just, I don't know. He's unconditional love is what he is. He's just a great little being.
Yeah, definitely sounds like a great little being.
Yeah, he is. I love him very thoroughly.
Okay, and you mentioned living with your family previously. Whereabouts do they live? Are they near Toronto?
No, so my parents live back in Point Edward. It's just like a small little village off of Sarnia. So it's like 3 hours away from here.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they live there. And my three siblings still live in Sarnia too. My older brother Matt, he doesn't live with them anymore, but my younger two siblings, my sister and my brother, they still live with my parents at home.
Okay, and can you tell me a little bit more about your siblings?
Yeah. So I have an older brother Matt. He's a year older than me. He is in school online right now for his law degree.
Okay.
So he's wicked smart.
Yeah.
And then I have my younger sister Lila. She is 2 years younger than me, and she's a funny little character. She wants to do stand-up comedy. Yep, and she brings it everywhere with her. So she's like my best friend too. Matt and Lila, I'm very, very close with naturally. Matt's came up and visited me twice since I've been here, which is like, yeah, it's been really nice. He took me on a hike once when he came up, just outside of the city. But Lila can't drive yet. She waited a little longer to get her license, so she'll be able to come up in February, which is nice.
Okay.
But I miss her a lot. I miss her like a lot. So and I know she misses me a lot, and it kind of puts a lot of stress on me because she'll text me like that she's like lonely too, and I don't want to be like I'm lonely, but I'm rambling. And then I have my younger brother Jack, and he's 6 years younger than me. And he's just kind of in high school, figuring it out. I don't really know much about the guy. He spends a lot of time in his room, and he really likes video games. So it's cool. It's cool.
Wow. Okay, well, it sounds like you have a good relationship with your siblings then.
Yeah, definitely.
Are Matt and Lila aware of your current situation?
Not really. Like Matt's not super talkative about emotions. I think sorta like I'll text him like miss you and like I tell him like how much it means to me. Like the 2 times he did come up, like I was just like, man, like this like is huge.
Mhm.
I've only been here for 2 months now, so it means a lot that like he comes up that often because it is a long drive and I know he's busy. Lila, not really. Like I think when I first came here, like we were both very open about like that we missed each other. But like she's been very like telling of like, I miss you, like I'm so lonely, like I feel like my life isn't the same without you. And like
Mhm.
I say like, most of it back, but I just don't want to add more burden to her. Like she struggles with her mental health too. So I don't want to be like, yeah, I miss you and I can't sleep and I'm like really sad. And so I just keep it at that I miss her too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just keeping it at you miss her because you don't want her to know that you're feeling a similar way that she is.
Yeah, I don't want to burden her.
Okay, so you don't want to feel like a burden to Lila.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you again for sharing that with me.
Yeah.
So how often are you able to go and visit your family?
I haven't gone home in the last 2 months. My brothers came twice. My mom's come once.
Okay.
And that's it for seeing them. I'm going to see them this weekend for Thanksgiving, so it'll be different. I get anxiously excited, if that makes sense, to see them, but after that I won't see them again until Christmas, so just holidays.
Okay. And when you say anxiously excited, what's making you feel that way?
I think anxious because I'm excited, obviously, for obvious reasons. I gotta see my cat, I gotta get good food, I gotta see my family, I gotta sleep in my, my home bed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll just be a nice little base kind of thing. But anxious in the sense of like how do I go home and tell my parents that the golden child is actually like really struggling, that, like when, the grades I have been getting are nothing of the reflection of what I'm capable of, but I'm just tired all the time and I'm like doing them at 4 a.m. because I'm bored and my brain's like halfway here at all points in time. I just don't know how to tell them that like I'm not doing well. I think I've always been like, out of all of my siblings, like the one that just kind of, pardon my language, but kept their shit together.
Mm-hmm.
So like how do I share with them like I don't have my shit together anymore?
Okay, I hear you. And it sounds like from what you're telling me that your sleep is really having an effect on your school. which then makes it a little bit stressful, it sounds like, for you to go home and have those relationships with your parents, right?
Yeah, I don't want to let them down.
Okay.
It's a lot of pressure.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely would feel like a lot of pressure, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And Bella, you mentioned previously that you enjoyed exercise, and that was something that previously helped um, with depression in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, is that something that you're still wanting to explore and continue doing?
I think like before coming in here today, like I didn't really think about it. Like I never really like considered like that wasn't a part of my life anymore.
Okay.
And then now I'm like kind of recognizing like how big of a part of my life it was.
Okay.
So yeah, like I think, you know, I obviously like I don't want this to continue. I'm willing to try absolutely anything to just get a good night's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that is something I'd like to try sometime soon.
Okay. Yeah, and you mentioned willing to try a couple times, and I think that's something to really see as a strength within you, Bella, that you're willing to put in that effort to help and to better the current situation. And I just want to identify that as a strength, and I think that's really important to see in yourself.
Thank you.
So, what types of exercise are you interested in? You mentioned before weightlifting was something. Is that something you're still currently interested in doing?
Yeah, I think so. I've always liked weightlifting. I did wrestling in high school, so I've always as you can see, I'm a pretty tiny human, but I like being tough.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something I could get myself back into and really enjoy. It's it's an empowering feeling to see as like my personal best go up, and I can.
Yeah. No, for sure. That would definitely be empowering. And yeah, no, that's great. So you mentioned wrestling too. In high school, you said, is that something that you do as well, that you're looking to do at university here?
No, I got enough on my plate. I don't need a varsity sport.
Okay.
And sadly, wrestling is not it's not one of those things you can just do casually. It's you got to be on the team or you're not wrestling someone, which rightfully so. It's a dangerous sport. So.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like weightlifting is a possible option to continue your exercise.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember you mentioning that you haven't found a gym yet.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're looking to do anytime soon?
I think now, yeah. I think that's what I want to do that this week. I think it's time that I just, you know, I'm tired right now, but I think like my body maybe isn't tired. Like I feel like when I lay in bed, like I have all this anxiety built up that I feel like I could like burst. So I'm hoping that maybe like the gym will kind of help me with that energy.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned like not being able to sleep, but also just being up like really, really late and doing your schoolwork late. And was exercising something that has previously helped with sleep? I know that it's something that you like to do and that it helped, you said, with the depression, which definitely could help with sleep. But I'm wondering, was it something that you did during the day or at night? I'm just curious as to when it was that you preferred to exercise.
So typically when I exercise, like it was like I would do everything I needed to do in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to the gym, I would exercise, I'd come home, I would make a belligerent amount of food, I would stuff my face, I'd watch a little bit of TV, and I go to bed. It was a beautiful routine.
Okay. Oh, you mentioned routine.
Yeah, I really like routine.
Okay.
I think that's kind of something I'm missing here. Like I think right now, like my days are all like I'm just not used to them. Like I know I kind of said earlier that I really like change, or I really don't like change. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think not only like is this been a massive change, but it's also just like completely messed with my routine, and now I don't really feel like I have one.
Okay.
So, you know, it's funny though. I never really thought that about the correlation between that and like my sleep schedule, and maybe that's actually a bigger impact than I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely something to think about.
Mm.
And Bella, you mentioned with a little bit about your previous routine.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering what your routine would look like if it was exactly the way you wanted it to be now. What would your routine outline look like?
I think I would like to get back into what I did at home. Like I slept great. I was doing well before I moved here.
Okay.
I would I'd go to school full time. I was in high school, obviously, and
Okay.
I would go to school, and then I would possibly work at night if I needed to. Finish it that night, and then I would go to the gym, and then I would come home and I would eat and watch TV and go to bed. I think that's something I would like to see that emulated back in my life. I think I miss that version of myself.
Yeah. I can see why that sounds like a great routine that you had and that you would want still. And I'm curious to know, how do you think that we could start to bring this routine back into your life?
Um, I think I think getting the gym membership this week is a really good idea for me. I think that's definitely something I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I think I just kind of have to get over that fear of like going to a new gym. I think I just gotta kind of do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like that is like my schedule is like I go to school, I come home, but right now I go to school, I come home, I do homework, and then I just kind of lay around. So yeah, I think adding the gym in there is gonna help me with my energy and hopefully.
Yeah. And it would be another change to go from having not having, I guess, the routine that you want right now, but changing and eventually having that. And it sounds like that would be an important goal to reach for. But I think it's also important to realize that, you know, step by step, not everything's going to change in one night. But you've identified the goal of going and getting a gym membership this week.
Mm-hmm.
You talked a little bit about fear and going to the gym. Do you think that that's something that I would be able to help you with, or what do you think would help combat that fear to go and get that gym membership this week?
I think it's just like I just need to do it. Like I think it's like an exposure kind of thing where like I don't really know like I'm just like so comfortable with change that I think I just need to get used to like then how the gym layout is, the kind of people that go to the gym, like where do I change, where do I shower, that kind of stuff. I think it's just like getting used to like the environment. And I
Okay.
think it's just kind of something I gotta like consistently expose myself to, and then eventually it'll be good.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like you know exactly what you need, and you mentioned getting used to, so it sounds just like you just got to get in the groove of it and get comfortable with that change again. But it really sounds like the gym is something has been a really great benefit to you in the past. So yeah, is there I'm just thinking here. So you've identified the goal of wanting to go to the gym this week and getting that membership. Is there anything else that you're feeling like we should go over before we end our meeting today? Is there anything else that you want to share with me or talk about?
I think just like briefly like I like to like I don't have a religion, like I don't have anything like that. But I've always been like a big fan of like believing there's like a higher power, like there's got to be kind of some reason for this. Like that. I don't know how to say it, but I just think I'm hoping there's got to be some reason. So I just don't know if you have any like. I just want to like get my thoughts out somewhere and like almost speak to this higher power, but like I just don't feel comfortable like praying or doing anything of that. Like it's not who I am.
Okay.
But I just don't know like how to get my thoughts out.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing that with me. And I think it sounds like you have an interest in spirituality, and it's just trying to navigate that, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Yeah, it's like it's been a weird new thing. Like I just hard things happen and then I can see like, okay, yeah, that was really hard, but it kind of made sense why it happened. It's made me like more me.
Mm-hmm.
So I I just feel like there's gotta be something bigger than me. I kind
Okay.
of need its help right now.
Yeah, no, definitely. And have you ever been interested in trying to join a church or a religious group? Maybe there's a sense of community there. I'm not sure if that's something that you've ever thought of.
Um, I think like I'd have to go to one, like I forget what they're called, but it's like that they kind of just believe in like a higher power. So maybe that's something I'll check out this week as well before
Okay.
our next meeting. Because I actually I didn't think about that, but it would be a nice sense of community.
Yeah.
It would be nice to be around people who also believe that this must be happening for a reason.
Yeah, no, that's another great goal to have for this week. And I think you can also just look up on your computer. There's a couple options for churches that have a similar, it seems like a similar belief in that higher power. There's a couple that you can check out if you want. I can give you the link. There's a couple different links and it just shows the options in the community. And that way you're not necessarily directed to one, but you have that option to choose whatever feels most comfortable to you. And I can definitely send that over to you after if you'd like.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right. So would you just feel comfortable, Bella, like repeating back to me your goals for this week, just so we can make sure we're on the same page?
Yeah, so I'm gonna get a gym membership and I'm gonna go once this week on top of that. I'm gonna do it. And then I'm gonna check out those links that you'll send me. And I don't think I'm gonna go to a church this week, but I definitely would like to like select one that I have in mind. And,
Yeah.
and maybe next week I just wanna make sure I'm not doing too much at once.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And yeah, I don't want you to feel any pressure to do anything you're not comfortable with yet. Like I said, always go at your own pace, okay? But yeah, I just think that if you could look through the options, and even if you don't find anything you're comfortable with, it's whatever is best for you. But if you're interested in looking, definitely feel free to check it out, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you again for sharing everything with me and let me know how everything goes. I think we're meeting again in about 2 weeks from today.
Okay.
If you need anything in the meantime, feel free to reach out and we can get a sooner appointment. Okay, Bella?
Okay.
Is there any
Thank you.
final things that you'd like to go over?
No, this has been it's been very thought clearing. I think I'm gonna go home and see if I can nap.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, sleep sounds like it would be great right now.
Yeah, it sure does.
All right, so
Okay.
let's work on these things and see if we can what we can do further to reach your goals. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming in today.
No,
Bella.
thank you.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Okay.